Good evening. Namaste. So today I welcome you all to the Sunday evening session. Today we are going to do it very differently, not just a talk, but I would say it's a presentation, and a very different presentation, as in we are not referring to any book or literature or a specific subject on which generally the speaker gives a talk. Today we will read a person. We will read a person who has lived his life in a theosophic way, a true theosophist. He was the former national lecturer of the Indian section TS Varanasi, a former council member of the Indian section, former president of Utkal Theosophical Federation, and he is Professor Chintamani Mahapatra. So the topic, as appropriate, has been written as Professor Chintamani, a real theosophist. And the speaker, or I would say the presenter, is also from the UTF, Utkal Theosophical Federation. I would introduce him before we start the presentation. Let us begin with the universal prayer, followed by a couple of seconds silence. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May each who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. Come back. So today, our speaker, I will add him in the spotlight so that you could see him. To give you a brief about the speaker also, you would have heard him in a couple of other sessions where he would have spoken about different theosophic topics, books, literature. He reads a lot. He speaks very simply. I have heard him many a times. He is brother Satyabata Rath. Brother Satyabata has been a lawyer, and he has been a student of science. So there has been a lot of aspects to it. Law, then student of science. Then he had been a lecturer in the law also. And he has been practicing in Odisha court. More than being a lawyer or a lecturer or a student of physics, he has been a serious student of theosophy. He joined the Theosophical Society in 1995 as a young member in the Pythagoras Youth Lodge at Bhubaneswar. And then he moved to Sanat Kumar Lodge, again in Bhubaneswar. And he is the current secretary of the lodge and the treasurer of Utkal Theosophic Federation. He has been a council member of the Indian section too. So this is a brief about him. People who know him would very well vouch on this fact that he is again a true theosophist. I think Brother Satyabata talking about a topic of today, Brother Chintamani, or true theosophist, is very appropriate. So over to you, brother. Whatever presentation you have made, I have made you the co-host, so you can share the screen, speak. At the end of it, I don't think there'll be any question answer because we are reading a person. But yes, if anyone has got a direct inspiration from the person we are talking about, might share, or any incident briefly you think the audience should be knowing or should be inspiring, you should be inspiring them, then you are most welcome. Over to you, Brother Satyabata.
Good evening, brothers. I consider myself to be lucky and privileged for being provided with this opportunity to present the short life history of Professor Chintamani Mahapatra and convey my heartfelt thanks to the office bearers of the Indian section Theosophical Society. Without any hesitation, I can address Professor Mahapatra to be a Gyan Yogi and also a Karma Yogi. I will try to present with following spirit of. So I have changed the heading little bit. I have addressed as Professor Chintamani Mahapatra as an enlightened soul. And I will try to speak of with following headings. His birth and family backgrounds, his childhood and school educations, his higher and professional educations, and his pursuit of professional career, and Mr. Mahapatra, Professor Mahapatra is a member of the Theosophical Society and the esoteric school, member of esoteric schools. So, so to start with his birth and family background of Professor Mahapatra. Professor Mahapatra born on 5th August 1930 uh, in the family of his father name is Pandit Kashinath Mahapatra and mother name is Rathamani Devi at Bhavani Patna. His father was a Jamindar under the Kolahandi state of the village Tiljudi, about 15 kilometers away from Bhavani Patna in the district of Kalahandi, Odisha. His elder brother's name is Balakrishna Mahapatra, was also a great devotee of the mother. When he was 1.5 years of age and the elder brother only 6 years old, his father died. So entire responsibility of taking care of both sons came upon the mother. His name was kept Chintamani as per his forefather's name. And I am giving a short family background. His great grandfather named Pandit Chintamani Mahapatra was a wise and enlightened person who came to Bhavanipatna for some work during the ruling of Maharaja Sri Udit Pratap Kesari Dev. During such stay, Pandit Chintamani Mahapatra was visiting to the Jagannath temple at Bhavanipatna for worship and prayer, but never bowed before the deity. So one day, some persons in the temple asked Pandit Chintamani Mahapatra why he is not bowing before the deity, to which he replied that it will not be appropriate for him to bow. The matter was reported to the king, Udit Pratap Kesari, and being asked about the reasons, he replied to the king that he is a Brahma, means spirit, and the deity has not been fully established. So if he will bow before the deity, then the wooden cover of the deity would break, because Jagannath, Balabhadra and Subhadra are being carved out of the wood in Orissa and also elsewhere. So we are calling as Daru. So if he will bow before the deity, then the wooden cover of the deity would break. So the king fixed suitable date and time, taking risk and responsibility upon himself. On the time fixed, Pandit Chintamani Mahapatra came to the Jagannath temple. After completing his prayers and worships, bowed thrice in the presence of king and his courtiers before the deities. And it was found that there is crack in the daru. So the king was pleased and requested to Pandit Chintamani Mahapatra to stay by offering large amount of lands in his estate. Pandit Chintamani Mahapatra established in village Tiljodi accordingly, And he was also requested to serve as priest of Ma Manikeswari, who was the deity of Maharaja of Kalahandi. About another story is given to Professor Chintamani Mahapatra by one of the renowned writers, Sri Godavari Mahapatra, uh, who is the editor of newspaper Niyakhunta. In Odisha, everybody knows about him. So it is a story during the rule of King Purushottam Dev, who was then ruling up to river Godavari, and there was severe droughts and no water is coming on the river Godavari. So King tried his level best with his mighty power to arrange waters in the rivers for the benefit of the public, but he could not help a lot. So one day, his ancestor, by then they were named as Misra, the title was Misra, not Mahapatra. He met the king, Purushottam Dev, and during discussions, uh, he offered himself that the king has tried his best with his mighty power. If he will allow, then he will try to bring water in the river through spiritual efforts. King replied, if he can do it, then the public and state will be benefited. So his forefathers started penance and meditations on the riverbed, and few days later, horde of water came in the river, and his ancestor came floating, sitting cross-legged in the water. King became pleased, and and he offered what he wants. His forefather replied, he wants some land near Ranpur, which is now in the district of Nayagarh in Odisha. And accordingly, King Purushottam Dev offered the land through a copper plates. In Odia, we are called Tamrapata. So accordingly, the forefather name were changed and they are called as Mahapatra. And basically, his family member is Tumra Kutia Mahapatra. His father, Kasinath Mahapatra, was a wise person and was a perfect worshipping to deities. He also died at a very young age. His elder brother, Balakrishna Mahapatra, was also a strong devotee of Mother Goddess and died at the young age of 32 years. His brothers was blessed to see Mother Goddess, but being in an odd situation, would not withstand the position emotionally and become ill and died. Now to start with his educations, during those days, that is prior to independence, there was no private tutors and very rarely available to elite mass only. So Professor Mahapatra went to house of his teachers uh, in the morning to his home for study, and after coming back, again went to the local schools, taking his food and baths. One day, the teacher beaten him for committing mistakes because he spoke ill of him in the being incited by four friends. So returning from school, he told his mother about not going to school anymore because of the positions, that is beating by the teachers. So hearing the news, his grandmother scolded the teachers. So also the Guruma scolded the teachers because Professor Chintamani Mahapatra is a very brilliant student. He was very good student and do remember much more than any other senior student also, even better than his senior classmates. After some time, he joined the school, and when he was reading in class 3, he used to read and recite Mahabharata, Ramayana, and Purana to his mother and maternal grandmothers fluently. After passing class 7, he joined the Brajamohan English School at Bhawanipatna. He loved playing football. On the death of his maternal grandmothers, his mother went to village to take care of farming, and his elder brother, who was studying in a Sanskrit school, leaving the English school, also went to village to help the mother. So he was shifted to the attached hostel of the BM High School. Now it is called as BM Brajamohan High School. Since the caretaker kept for taking care of him, could not properly properly help him in his day-to-day living. He was very good in education and securing first position in his class. He loved game, song, acting, for he could not give full attention for his education, else he could have performed much better in education. He was placed in the C team of Kalahandi football. He was also performing very well in the school on essay debate competitions. He was also acted in 2 to 3 plays under the direction of persons who were coming from Cuttack then. As family members warned him for returning late nights, he left acting. There was no center for matriculation examination in the Kalahandi states. So he went to Balangir in the year 1946 to appear the examination. He secured second division in matriculations examinations, though first position among all his classmates. His mother and elder brothers were very serious about his educations and well-beings. After passing of matriculation examination, it was decided that he will study the IA Intermediate in Arts in the Khalikot College at Barampur and stay in the hostel. During his stay of the hostel, one of his close friend named Basant Kumar Pranigai, he spent very memorable time with him, singing, acting, writing songs, and so on. He wrote many songs by that time. He passed IA with the subject English, History, Logic, and Economics in the year 1948. He ranked first in the second year examinations among all students. He used to purchase weekly Amrit Bazar newspapers, which was his first contact with newspapers. Then he joined in the Revansa College to pursue his BA and stayed in the West Hostel of the Revansa College. While studying at Revansa College, he joined the NCC. So there was family resentment anticipating he may join in the army. So he left NCC, though he was dragged to politics by his friends like Jagannath Das, was member of Utkal Samilani, because Hadekala Khaswa was, they want to be part of the Odisha state, but he refused to join in politics. In the meantime, with experience, his elder brother became Jamindar of the village and took care of his estate. During stay at Revansa College, he came across many friends and well-wishers like Rajnath Babu of Keonjhar, Mahapatra Nindamani Sahu, well-known writer in Odisha, Radhamon Gadnaik, Professor Rajkishore Rai, Professor Sadasiv Mishra, economist, Professor Ganeshwar Mishra, philosophy, Professor Radhanath Ratha of psychology, and his classmate, Srimati Nandini Sarpati, who became later Chief Minister of Odisha, and Banka Veridas, and many other such renowned personalities. He became graduate in the year 1950, and he showed interest to pursue further study at Lucknow University to become the journalist. To pursue further study, the lands at Ranpur were sold, and taking the share, he went to Lucknow for his higher education. Though he wished to study post-graduation in political science to become journalist, but he could not get seat in political science and admitted in economics. And he was also informed that he can change his subject later on. But Professor Radhakant Mukherjee of economics advised him not to change his subject, because if he will study economics, it will help him a lot to become a true journalist. He completed his MA in economics in the 1952. There he also came across renowned personality like writer Chandrasekhar Ratha, advocate of Bhadrak Sri Navin Chand, Sri Bankim Chandra Das, who became later journalist, and also a personal advisor to the great politicians of Odisha, Sri Biju Patnaik. He participated in many cultural functions while residing in Lucknow University. He also completed first year law examinations in first division and also Russian language course during his stay at Lucknow. His marriage. In 1952, he married to Snelata Mahapatra, daughter of Pandit Vasudev Ratha, who was also working as headmaster of Gauss High School. Unfortunately, Pandit Rath could not survive to witness the marriage. The marriage is also a history because it is a social renaissance in Kalahandi. The marriage created history among Brahmins of Bhawanipatna. Prior to that marriage, only child marriage were solemnized among the Brahmins. For the first time, a matured girl got married. His in-law family members boycotted the marriage ceremony and also the feast. His mother-in-law, Srimati Savitri Devi, was a headstrong personality, and she remained strong for the marriage and also disowned the complexion of inferior Brahmin concepts. As relatives did not participate in marriage and feast, his villagers enjoyed the food happily. Later, all relatives repented for such boycotting and came to his home on different occasions. His wife is a very beautiful, compassionate, caring, hardworking, and sympathetic lady. He forced her to complete the matriculation examinations, to which his mother-in-law supported, but the family members and society strongly objected to such prosecuting higher educations. So his wife appeared in matriculation examination privately without disclosing before her family members that she is preparing for the examinations. When she passed with the matriculation examination in second division, she became proud for the entire family. She also studied intermediate in arts in the Satyabata Women's College, Cuttack, on the profession of Professor Mahapatra. She is also a good writer and written many poems, short stories, and plays, and many of them were also being staged at different places. With his wife, he opened schools at Bhawanipatna and Raigad after poor children. Out of their marriage, uh, they blessed with a daughter in the year 1954, but she could not survive for more than 8 months. But later, they blessed with son named Sri Subrat Kumar Mahapatra. Who born on 27 July 61. And Subrat Kumar Mahapatra has got two daughters, one uh, Pragya Surabhi, and the other is Sri Saswati. They also show the social responsibility by revolting the ritualisms in the society, ostracism in the society, and adopted Olga Rath as their daughter and given her in marriage, because by then in the same Gotra, marriage were not allowed to solemnize. So also his eternal child, Professor Daswati Mahapatra, who was also a student of journalism, was adopted and he gave him the marriage. Now his family are residing at Basant Vihar, Brahmasar Patna in Bhubaneswar. After marriage and completion of MA, he stayed for some time in his village with his family members. In 1953, he came to Cuttack in search of service. For some time, he managed with private tuition. Because of urge of journalism, he met Mr. Babu, who was then the president for Odisha Servants of India Society. He handed over him a letter addressed to Sri Dinakaran Desai of Bombay to pursue his journalism career. As Professor Mahapatra did not have enough money, so he sold his bicycle to travel to Bombay. He stayed at Kalyan in Bombay with one of his friend's brother and met Sri Dinakar Desai. Sri Dinakar Desai wrote letter to the news editor of Free Press Journal. On meeting him, he advised to meet famous journalist and editor Sri S. Sadanand. On meeting Sri S. Sadanand, he wished to know whether he knows typing, to which he replied in negations. So Sri Sadanand advised him to work as a clerk for him and to learn typing in the meantime with monthly salary of rupees 120 per month and rupees 30 for learning typing. So he shifted to Bombay Laws from Kalyan so that that is closer to his workplace. During said period, one of his articles was also published in the Free Press Bulletin. He met Sri Sadananda after 3 months to shift him to press section, but he was advised to wait for further period of 3 months. The Free Press Journal was running in hardship, which he came to know later, and because of marginal income to sustain the press. Sri Sadananda died sometime thereafter, for which the press authority informed him they cannot help him anymore to keep the assurance of Sri Sadananda. So he came back, and in the meantime, he heard about illness of his mother. So he came back to the village, but unfortunately, he could not meet his mother, who died due to failure of heart. After a short stay at village, he came to Cuttack in search of job again. He met Sri Balakrishna Kara of Mathrubhumi newspaper. To test the skills, Sri Kara advised the news editor of the magazine, Sri Gaurav Raut, to take his test. Though Sri Gaurav Babu given positive recommendations, but he could not start with his career in journalism. In 1954, before the day of Viswa Sankranti, there was a meet-togethers on behalf of the Prajatantra and National Shrines. So in 1944, he met Sri Harikrishna Mahatab, and Sri Mahatab advised him to meet one day after. So accordingly, on meeting Sri Mahatab, he engaged him as a sub-editor of Eastern Times newspaper. So his true career as journalist began from such journey. He was taught practical journalism by news editor Sri Mihir Kumar Rao and his friend Sri Bankim Das. Later, he worked as a reporter also for the same newspaper for a short period. Sometimes after he worked as a news editor, Sri Janaki Vallabh Patnaik was working as editor for both the newspaper Prajatantra and Eastern Times. His articles were also published in the newspapers like Statesman and Amrita Bazar. With very low salary of about 200 rupees per month, he worked for 14 years as news editor for Eastern Times and was facing a lot of problems to manage his family with a rented house at Cuttack. So he decided to start his own journal, that is newspaper. He named it as Vivarani. He, as an editor, and his wife become publisher of the newspapers. It's a monthly newspaper. He also started a press he named as Vivarani Prakashani. As during those days, there was no much advertisement. So he was facing hardship to continue the publications of the Vivarani. His wife, with much hardship, managed to manage the press and family. Even they have slept without food on many occasions. In such a situation, he got offer from the Swarajya to work as editor in the year 1968. So he managed to come to Bhubaneswar for some time and later shifted to Bhubaneswar with his family and the press. He took rented house in Tankapani Road to stay and run the press. His wife took charge of to publish the Vivrani newspaper, and son was also assisting them in those works. The publication of Vivrani became irregular because of financial hardship and later stopped in the year 1972 due to lack of sufficient advertisements, that is financial constraints. So the press was handed over to the machine man, Sri Damodar Tripathi. And while working for Swarajya, he met Sri R.P. Shastri and later Sri Mayadhar Mansingh as a editors of the Statesman. During those days of hardship, he got invitation from Sri Sailesh Rai of Calcutta in the year 1971 to work for United States Information Service to become editor for Odia issue of the journal American Reporter. He agreed to work for the monthly salary of rupees 1,700. So he shifted to Calcutta with his family. The publication was unfortunately closed in the year 1973, but the authority to help him extended his service for a period of 1 year. So again, a very distressed period he faced in those times. In the year 1974, Brahmapur University opened the Department of Journalism and Mass Communications and issued advertisement for the post of lecturer. He applied for the post and got selected. So his regular service career started from August 1974 up to May 1990 when he retired as professor of the department. During his continuance, the master's in journalism course was started at his behest, and later many were awarded MPhil and PhD degrees. His student, Dr. Daswati Misra, was also his eternal son, took over the charge of department when he retired in 1990. So after retirement, as by then only 1 month is allowed, so he left Bhanjaliya, that is Barampur University in 1990 and joined as visiting professor in Andhra University, where he was pioneer to open the journalism course. He was given a quarter facing to sea, which his family enjoyed a lot. And here he actually started translations of the book Cosmic Fire and the Secret Doctrine because he's got enough time there. He also repaired his house at Saidnagar to stay after leaving the because he had to leave also the Andhra University. In the year 1992, he joined as press advisor to Governor of Arunachal Pradesh, Sri Surendranath Dwivedi. His friend Sri Gorachand Misra was residing with his family with the governor. During such stay, he translated the biography of Sri S.N. Dwivedi, Mo Jivanara Sangram, from Odia into English. But because of cold weather, he could not continue for long and came back to Odisha. In the year 1995, the Indian Institute of Mass Communication was opened at Dhenkanal. The director, Indian Institute of Mass Communication, Sri Umakant Misra, invited him to work as a visiting professor and provided guest house to stay whenever he visited for the teachings till his last breath on 29/10/2002. During his stay at Bhubaneswar, he helped to open the journalism courses in many institutions. He was also worked as president from 1995 to 2002 in the PMS started by Dr. Upendra Padhi and as chairman of Board of Studies in the Utkal University. He also served as examiner for the UPSC from the year 1989 to 2000s. He was a life member of Society of Canada and also AMIC of Singapore. Now his career as a member of Theosophist Society. In the year 1961, he got the opportunity to attend a conference on journalism at Madras with some other journalists from Odisha, a representative of the newspaper Prajatantra and Eastern Times. So by getting the opportunity at Madras, he proceeded to Pondicherry alone to the ashram of Srima and Aurobindo. He stayed as guest of Sri Papati Babu, who advised him to meet Srima early morning on the next day. He joined with other devotees to witness the gracious presence of Srima in the early morning in the ashram in front of our balcony. Srima appeared with white robe in the balcony. He filled with thrill in his heart and body with the gracious presence of the mother, and tear rolled down from his eyes. After some time, he got back his sense, but could not able to see his body parts for some moments. Later, getting complete sense, could able to see his fingers and hand, and the entire body was trembling, and he was thinking how to move to the house. So he narrated the event to Sri Prapati Babu, and he said he have got the blessings of the mother, and he can proceed in his life, loftiest life, and gifted two books, Life Divine and Synthesis of Yoga. With such experience and introductions to the spiritual phenomena, he there is a question in his mind always while coming back to Katak and stay at Katak, that the question is who is Brahma and what is truth. So one day with his journalist friend, he met his friend name is Satyanarayana Mahapatra, who took him to the house of Sri Narayana Mahapatra, where every weekend there was going on discussion and study class on the Theosophy. wife of Sri Narayana Mahapatra, namely Sri Salabala Mahapatra, was very calm, quiet, peaceful, and caring and affectionate. And Professor Mahapatra used to address her as his sister. By then, the renowned members of Theosophical Society of Odisha like Dr. Sarath Misra, Dr. Ramchandra Ratha, Sri Prahlad Mahapatra, Sri B.B. Palai, Sri Khageshwar Rao Prai, and many others were coming to the meeting regularly. He found a good library full with theosophical books there and got the scope to study them. So, by such study, he got the idea about the masters, Madam H.E. Blavatsky, Colonel H.S. Alcott, C.W. Ledbetter, Dr. Anivesan, and other luminaries of the Theosophical Society. He came to know about the two masters behind the formation of the Theosophical Society. So he decided to join as members and joined in the year 1962 as a member of the Theosophical Society at Cuttack Lodge. And because of his strong urge for truth about Brahma, he joined the Esoteric School of Theosophy in the year 1964. So this is another situation when he joined the sign rooms that which he witnessed by seeing the mother Srima. After joining the esoteric school, though he lived with his family, but he lived a life of saints by devoting entire energy to learn philosophy, to study, meditations, and service. With his sincerity, dedications, and determination, and devotions with right effort, he became a pillar of the Utkal Theosophical Federations in spreading the message. With his skill on journalism and teaching profession, he able to present the difficult concept of theosophy in simple and lucid manner so that all will be benefited out of that talk. He was so devoted to theosophy and theosophical society that he can continue deliberations and discussion on any topic at any time, at any place, before any audience who express their willingness to know about theosophy or the theosophical society. Because of his such Because of such strong devotion, dedication, etiquettes, and speaking skill, he was selected as national lecturer for the Indian section of the Theosophical Society from the year 1998 to 2002. He visited many states as a national lecturer in India, like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Assam, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala to give talk, conduct study class, and spread philosophy. In Odisha, wherever he visited and stayed for short time also, he either started a Theosophic study center or lodge in those places. To name the few places where he taken initiative to form lodges are at Brahmapur, Raigada, two lodges at Bhawanipatna in the district of Kalahandi, at Dhenkanal, Devgarh. He also revived the Sambalpur lodge and try to form laws at Raurkela, Sonpur, Balangir, and Jaipur by conducting classes there, study classes. But as he could not continue reputations to move to those places, he could not able to form the lodges there. He also started a new lodge at Naipuri, Bhubaneswar. He had conducted many study classes in the UTF Hall and Katak Lodge on the philosophy and also on Gita and other very spiritual topics. He gave battery low. I may be excused. Just a moment, please. I will pardon.
Yes, you are on mute.
Yes, yes.
So you have to unmute and you're carrying on the presentation, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay,
You can
okay. I'm
start.
continuing. I'm continuing.
You can restart.
Yes, I'm continuing. the later on low battery. Sorry. Professor Mahapatra gave lecture on different aspects of theosophy and theosophical society at different places in schools, colleges, university, social organizations, and institutions. Truly speaking, he was the embodiment of living theosophy. Whoever had came across his smiling, peaceful, gracious, radiant face, reflecting care and love on his eyes and face, will never forget him. He worked as a vice president and president of the Utkal Theosophical Federations from 1990 to 2002 till his death. He served as president of TOS Utkal Bharati till 2001 from the date of inception. He desired to form a school of international standard in the lines of Rishi Valley and Aurobindo Integral Schools and had talked to Rani Sugyani Devi of Kalikot, who showed interest to provide 10 acres of land near Ramba, but could not succeed in his efforts because he breathed last. In order to develop higher consciousness among children in a natural way, he set up a school at Raigada for the poor and tribal children with the help of his wife and other local peoples as a part of work for the Theosophical Order of Service. So uh, there is a very curiosity that while he was continuing at IIMC, Dhenkanal, teaching the students about how to report about the death, he given his talk and he felt there is pain in his heart and took leave of the students to take rest. And when the students found the teacher, Professor Mahapatra, not returning to the class, and they went to the guest house, they found that Professor Mahapatra is no more. This is how the enigmatic character is. And during his last breath also, he taught the students. So award he have received during his careers. On 28th to 1993, received award from the governor on behalf of Public Relations Society of India as a senior journalist. On 23rd February 1999, awarded as a reputed journalist and writer by the Utkal Pathaka Sansad and also felicitated by the Kolhandi Journalist Associations. On 2nd August 2002, awarded with Radhanath Ratha Award by the Utkal Sahitya Samaj. He was awarded the title Desratna by Bharati Foundations in recognition of his lifetime service to literature, philosophy, and journalism. So, few of his writings, of his own writings, like in Odia, he have written Brahmavidya Parichaya, Amruta Vani, Sastata Murchana, a compilation of poems, and a novel named Adhikar, Paralok, Swargalok, and Chinta Jagata. Then God, Man, Superman, and Fairies in three languages, Odia, English, and Hindi. He also written journalism in Odisha and war reporting, news reporting. He also written HB Inka Jivani and also written Brahmavidya Dustu Gita. Few of these translations into Oriya are Tale of Two Cities in the name Duiti Nagarira Kahani, Talk on the Path of Occultism, Volume 1, at the Kubdaj Masters, named as Sri Guru Charane, Life After Death as a Mutyu Pare Jivana, Seven Principles of Man, Manisara Sapta Sarira, Rusi Devapi O Maru, Bharat Samaj Puja, The Secret Doctrine, Volume 1, as Gupta Jnana, Sixth Root Race, as Sasta Mulajatira Sundar Prothivi, Gayatri, Sadguru, Sadhana Patha. Few of the work which remain unpublished are The Cosmic Fire, written by Alice Bailey, Study in Consciousness, it is also written by Annie Besant, it is incomplete one, Book of Jan, also incomplete one. These are the few of the family photographs with his wife, with his son, young son, when he was leaving Calcutta from USIS in the workplace at Barampur University, in the IMC celebrating his birthday, at the press advisors of Governor Srinath Dwivedi. This is the visit of Madam Radhavarnia to Bhubaneswar and conducting ES retreat at Cuttack, where all the senior members of Odisha can be found. Which is director of IIMC Denkanad. This is in the UTF hall during the meeting. It is with his family. This is his wife receiving the literature award. This is his son and daughter-in-law. This is his family. This is his wife, son, and two daughters, the younger daughter and the elder daughters. So, I would like to, he was also a singer, writers and singers, as I told. I want to present two songs before concluding with some of his spiritual achievements also. So one is, I'm just playing it.
Are you going to continue on some more theme of him?
Yes, yes. After this song, I will come, taking 3 minutes, I will come. Is song audible?
You are audible, but only thing is this picture is static. You're not saying anything, so you have to move on.
Okay. Just a moment, please.
Screen is there, the photo is there, and you're not saying anything. So you may proceed.
Is the song audible? The song audible?
You are audible. So you have to move. The screen is only the group photograph is there, and you have to keep on saying.
Okay. Sorry, I could not able to play the song, which is composed by Professor Mahapatra. So one of as a ES members, as I have told, like meeting Srima and getting the blessing and thrills, when he joined the Theosophical Society, he got again the same feelings of thrills seeing his masters there. So he was as I have told, he was very determined and devoted to Theosophical Society, and his activities are like a saint. He got the opportunity of join another ashram at Puri, where the head of the ashram advised him that he is certainly going to meet his masters one day. So it so happens that he was in the evening in a restaurant taking tiffins, and suddenly it started raining. severe rain was there. And while taking his tiffin, he found that a white car came, and with a white robe, a tall gentleman came down from the car, got down from the car, and came to him with a gracious smiling, seeing him. And he said him, "Don't worry, we'll meet again." So it was ringing in his head. So after some times when he got his sense, he asked the manager of the hotel, did he see any persons coming in a white car, in a white dress? The manager of the hotel said, no, he have not witnessed anybody. And he was alone taking the tiffin. So while during his sadhana at Puri in the ashram, on one day, he really able to see his masters who were advising that don't worry, he has done has sufficient effort to live with societies. So I'm also telling my personal experience of witnessing such situations. During 2000, Brother KVK Nehru was conducting computer class, teaching on computers at Hyderabad. Myself, Brother Pradhan Mahapatra, and Professor Mahapatra, Chintamani Mahapatra, which we were decided to join in the Hyderabad to take the training. So one day in the morning, because we are getting late to the class, and Mr. Chintamani Mahapatra was doing his meditations, I asked him repeatedly, but he could not wake up. So I touched his body to awake him so that we will be in the class in the right times. Professor Mahapatra got up because of such thoughts and told me that henceforward never to touch him to awake, simply to call him repeatedly till he get back on the meditations. So this is an experience that he was advanced a lot in his sadhana marga. So with this short span, I cannot further elaborate. So I thank you again to the members of the Indian section to providing me opportunity to present a short history on Professor Chintamani Mahapatra. Thank you. Thank you. Pranam.
Thank you, brother. I think you have given quite a good information about Professor Chintamani Mahapatra, from his family, his work area, his attitude towards life as a Theosophical Society member, his contribution. I would appreciate, we have got another 6-7 minutes. Anyone who has met him, who has known him, who has worked along with him, if anyone wants to, add something which is for the best interest of this audience of today, and you think they should be informed, they should know, they should be inspired, you may add, or we may please sit for a minute. If there is no suggestion, there is no other remarks additionally. Let us recall such a profile, such a person. Many a times, we don't remember people enough. We know them, we love them, we appreciate them. When I say remembering those qualities which we think we should contemplate on. So quickly, anyone wants to add something, that's fine. Otherwise, for 1 minute, we will absorb what we learned. Professor Shinde, I see your name, your video and audio blinking. You want to say something, sir?
Yeah.
Please.
Oh, again it has gone.
Yes, sir.
No, it is opening. Just a minute. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. Really, Satyabata Rath has given a good information of the Professor Chintamani, who is a great Theosophist. Really, what title you have given is really wonderful. Yeah, how these people, how these souls are attracted by the such society which is dedicated for the service of humanity, and where they get what we can say blessings from the masters of the wisdom. I know him very well because I was a national lecturer since 94 and he joined in 98. But he was very great because he has a number of experiences in the social life. He was in the politics, people, a great man. And Radha Bernier has much regards to him. And also his wife. Whenever I was coming to Bhubaneswar, her wife was always coming to me. She has given secret doctrine volumes to keep it in the library. So I am very grateful to listen him carefully. How great persons and what a single person can do for the Theosophical Society. He started many lodges and all that we heard. Really wonderful. Thank you really to Satyabata Rath and also to you also for inviting me to say something. Thank you, Mira.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Anyone wants to quickly add something? I see Sister Mitalini and Brother Pradeep Mahapatra, who I have heard a lot about Professor Mahapatra. If you think there is any storyline of his life which is motivating, you may add. Or let us remain in silence for 1 minute to absorb such a great soul, such a beautiful person, and contemplate on some of his qualities. That will be our real tribute to him, I think. Okay, so we will do our closing prayer. It has been a good evening, remembering beautiful people. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukhabhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you all. Thank you for joining us. We'll continue such topics Friday and Sundays. So thank you all for joining us. We are closing the session.